My brother is. What is a brother?
A brother.
A brother is
A brother.
Forged and sharp.
who supports you,
Reliable.
full trust.
They'll protect you.
Hold me accountable.
A friend.
Could hear your pain through your sound.
And there to pick you up without judgment.
So brotherhood to me is a journey and not a destination.
Welcome to Brother Empowerment.
Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, so you know what that means. It's Brother Empowerment Day. If you notice, we're in a different location today. We are it's top secret, can't tell y'all where we're at. But we're in a new location doing some big collaborative things. So this week, we are in a secret studio with Al Howard, and we are having a collaborative show. And it's this week's theme, or I guess you would say the topic of this week is Counterculture Week. Counterculture Week aims to bring awareness about our current culture of mainstream cruelty and shame and identify counterculture solutions to eradicate and normalize kindness with the theme of using the principles of Kwanzaa 365 days a year. Humanity is defined by our ability to show kindness. Our goal is to counter the culture before we become humans without humanity. So Counterculture Week is something that, we're collaborating with Al with. He actually got in contact with Jay and I and said, hey man, let's collab. So here we are. So before we get into the introductions, because we do have another special guest with us, I'm just gonna say, if you have not ever checked out the show, one, you're missing out a lot. And then two, we thank you for being with us today. So if you don't know, Brother Empowerment is not a bashing show, and it's not something where it's not a show where we, point our fingers and tell brothers what they ought to do. It's really a safe space for brothers and their families that's free of criticism, judgment, and any kind of shaming. So, and we realized here that we have to do our part to help with the ills of the community. And so Brother Empowerment is one of our initiatives. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get on. So first and foremost, everybody has been on the show multiple times. I think, Al, this might be your first time on this season, right? Yeah. So but we're going to line. So we are going to go ahead and let our, not really guests, but they're back again. So we'll just call them guests to be nice. We're going to let our guests introduce themselves and really tell us how their week has been. So we're going to start first with the lady.
Hi everyone, I am Rashida Enoch, soon to be Gibson, and so just came on to join my honey in the show. I am, so I have a nonprofit called Confident Credit, where my goal is to teach financial literacy. Definitely big on savings, investing, and just kind of breaking some of those generational curses. So, yeah, that's who I am.
So, all right. Deuce, even though you are far from a guest, but go ahead, bro. Introduce yourself and let people know how your week has been, man. You're on mute. Hold on, wait.
Oh, you muted.
No, you got to unmute yourself, Deuce, man. There you go.
Yeah. Deuce, artist, producer, engineer, overall, just a musician. And my week has been pretty good. I just found out today that me and maybe three more of the artists that I've been producing, T. Lane Sitch, Ari Quinn, we've all been nominated for Carolina Music Awards.
Congratulations, bro, to all y'all, man. Big ups, man.
Appreciate it. And a couple other special shout out to Iconic Bond. Also, I have a single dropping with him at midnight. And also Juice Lord is also nominated. He's also on my album. So yeah, man, it's been a really good week for me in terms of music and in terms of just like personally. There we go. I'm in back.
So before
it's been good. It's been a pretty good week. It's been a solid week.
Hold on. Hang on, my mic's not working.
it is working, bro. We can hear you. Oh, okay. Oh, shoot. He left like Batman. Ow. Ow. Well, you won't be last because Ricky's coming back on. But man, introduce yourself to the people, man, and tell them how your week has been, bro.
Okay, so I'm out of Great, your neighborhood counterculturalist. I got 3 fashion brands: Good Student Apparel, No Robots, and B Athletics Unlimited, all focused on changing the culture or countering the culture of shame and cruelty. So my week has felt really long, but it's been really good because it's been our first counterculture week. A lot of planning went into it. Now getting to see the execution of it.
Mm-hmm.
I think we got off to a really great start. I've already started, planning the next one, kind of halfway.
Yeah.
So we got to get through this first.
Okay.
And excited about the fashion show that's coming up this Saturday. Come on out to the Counterculture Fashion Show. We haven't done a fashion show in probably 3 years.
Yeah. Definitely before COVID.
Yeah. Before COVID, I had to I decided I was going to take a break before COVID because doing events is a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. So happy to be back, and hopefully everybody can come out.
Yeah, no, definitely, man. So, while we wait for the beard to get back, we're going to go ahead and get started. So first off, we're going to acknowledge everyone that we have with us tonight. Oh, if you forget to acknowledge when you're watching, please throw a comment in the comment section. We love interacting with the people. So got Sean Bates in YouTube land. What's going on, Sean, man? Got Deshaun is on. What's up, Deshaun, bro? All the way out from Inglewood, West Side. We got everyone's resident big sister, Tara, in the building. What's going on, Tara?
My fake cousin.
She said, hey, nice change up. We got everyone's boss mom in the building, my mom. Our mom, Captain Jacqueline Williams, or Captain Jackie Williams in the building. Hey, mom. So, everyone's saying congratulations, Deuce. For real.
Appreciate it.
Oh, yeah, Deshaun, bro. So while we wait for the beard to get back on, we won't really delay too much. I'm sure he'll be back. We're going to go ahead and get into these quotables. So, like I was telling you earlier, Al, man, this season, we have went away from the topics per se. We're doing quotables, and we're really just going wherever the conversation takes us in with these quotables. So it's worked really well for us so far. And then this is what the new kind of theme is for the season. And we like it. Okay. So I'm going to go with the first one. So this is: each life is made up of mistakes and learning, waiting and growing, practicing patience and being persistent. Billy Graham. What you got?
Sorry.
Anybody jump in there.
So I want to say that life is made of mistakes, right? I only think mistakes are things when you don't learn from it.
Mm-hmm.
But I will agree that it's constant, like a do and learn thing. You figure out what works for you by actually doing it. If it doesn't work for you, then you realize that it doesn't, and you continue to grow and keep going from there. Waiting and growing, life definitely does take a lot of patience, especially when you have a lot of goals for self. Mm-hmm. And so just practicing being patient, being happy while you wait, right?
Mm-hmm.
Don't dwell on what's not happening, but in being persistent, I think that is a part of life.
Yeah, no, definitely. Before we go on anybody else's thoughts, the beard, you jumped off here like Batman. So we were going around and so introduce yourself again to the people and then let us know how your week has been, bro.
Everybody knows me. Ricky the Beard, aka the Fantastic Fermentationist, aka mixology champion around here, Mr. Drink Champs himself. But yeah, man, I'm here. My week was crazy. we're doing this remodel. Just had the kitchen finished today.
Yeah.
Now I got a whole weekend of painting and priming. So I've been busy.
Yeah, gotta get the mansion remodeled. I understand it, bro. I do.
For sure.
Yeah, but that's what's up, man. I can't wait to sample your new concoctions in that very kitchen.
Hey, you welcome to come. You could be Resheya's +1.
I'll take it. I'll take it. Any way you can get in the club, or you take it. Okay, so who else wants to jump on this quote next? You got anything, Al?
I jump on. I agree with it. Like I like that it's it's a lot of times when people talk about life, it's about one or two things. But I think this quote is very kind of diverse in all the aspects. Mistakes and learning, waiting and growing, and practicing and patience. So I like that it's made of a lot of different things. Because life is complicated.
Yeah. Deuce, what do you have, man? Take yourself off mute, bro.
Every time, man. I don't really like to call them mistakes so much as lessons. You know what I mean? But I guess you got to have missteps in order to get those lessons, in order to learn. And a lot of us only learn the hard way. So it's a good quote. Practicing patience and being persistent. That's the goal. That's the road to success. Persistence and being in practice. Lots and lots of practice. You don't get where you're going just off of pure talent. A lot of times you got to practice. They tell the story about how Jordan was cut from basketball team in like the 80s or something, and he became arguably the greatest to ever touch a basketball court, or one of the greatest. So just got to keep practicing, and you miss all the shots that you don't take.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, for real, man. Rest in peace to the great, man. Ricky,
Michael Jordan. Oh, that was Kobe Bryant. I was about to say Michael Jordan's not dead, but Kobe's.
I was gonna let him live. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
R.I.P. Ray Liotta, though.
Yeah, true that. Ray Liotta passed away, man. That dude was cool. I would say this quote right here. I look at the fact that he's naming extremes. Mistakes, learning, waiting, growing, patience, persistence. It just speaks to me and says, in a day and age where everything is on these polar ends and all we hear are extremes, life is really lived in the middle. Right. Like it's never all one thing. It's never all positive. It's never all negative. It's a mashup of whatever it is, and you just got to be flexible. When it's time to move, you got to move. When it's time to stop, you got to be able to have the wisdom to stop. When it's time to speak. You got to have that wisdom to shut up. So it's in the middle. It's a push and pull. So it's really like, okay, use your wisdom and be able to discern in those moments what person you need to be.
Yeah, no, I agree with all that, bro. So Captain Williams said it's a complete thought. All those things are about development and growth. Tara said this quote points out all the opposites of one another. Like you said, Ricky, life is made up of everything, basically. My mom said yes to what you were saying, Ricky. So I definitely agree with you, what you're saying, well, what everybody said, and definitely what you said, Ricky, bro. And what came to me immediately when I read this quote and really sat on it for a couple seconds was the fact that that life, like Tara said, life is made up of everything. Life is a whole experience, and there's, like you said, people talk about a couple things or one or two things when they talk about life. A lot of times, where life is made up of so many things that to name them all, like we'd be here all day. And I think there are some things that you compare in life, and I think there are some things that are kind of that you can't define that do that are certain types of gray areas that Ricky was saying, like certain parts of life are lived in gray areas. Some people live their whole lives or a majority of their lives in gray areas, so yeah, like life is made up of everything. And I think that's a great way to summarize this quote is your life is going to have everything in it, even some things you don't want to have in it, or you may be, you may have an aversion to. I think that's the mistakes part. It's just things that you don't want, you know. And so I think life is, those things are present in everyone's life. You know, no one goes through life, you know, on a completely, you know, upscale, you know, for lack of a better term, I'll say positive level, you know. So, you know, we experience everything. So yeah, no, that one is dope. I really like that one. That was a great one to get things, you know, started off on.
I look at a mistake as something, you know, some unintentional effect.
Yeah.
You know, something you set out to do this, but this other thing happened. Or, you know, I feel like it's all part of life. And I think while, you know, talking about counterculture week, like, I think the shame and the cruelty makes us hard to even want to go through the mistakes or even attempt.
Yeah.
Because we're afraid we're going to make a mistake and somebody will throw it in our face.
Yeah. And it's interesting too, because you have some people who don't believe in mistakes. They believe that everything in life happens for a reason. There's a learning experience. And even if that wasn't your intended outcome, something can still come of it. Yeah. You know, so you have those folks who look at it like that. There are no such thing as mistakes.
I think it's not a loss as long as you get back up.
Mm-hmm.
It's something unintentional that it's, you know, it can be a mistake, but you only take an L if you don't get back up. Yeah. You don't learn something from it.
Yeah, exactly. So he said, "Hey y'all, I don't understand why it's not showing my face with this Jay. What's up, Jay, bro?"
Mine was doing that yesterday. I did my show yesterday, and I was like, "Oh, what the world?"
Yeah, man, it acts up sometimes, man.
Nah, you gotta be for real, Cordell. Just look in the camera and let Jay know you're the captain now. I am the captain.
So I look at the camera and be like, "It's my show now."
There you go. Walk in it.
Nah, I'm the real Tiny Lister. Rest in peace. My show, punk. Rest in peace, Devo, man. Rest in peace, Devo. But yeah, y'all ready to move on to the next one?
Let's do it.
Yeah. So the next one is from someone in-house, and it is, more so of a question than a quote, is why do you think we need to unite to eradicate inhumanity and normalize kindness?
I think it's probably better because I think when people look at inhumanity, I like to define it. Like, to me, like when you look in the dictionary, humans are defined by our ability to show kindness. Like, that's what's supposed to separate us from animals. Even though you may look on National Geographic and you might see a lion, you know, playing with prey or something. You know, it's playing with food. But as humans, we're not really supposed to. You know, why would we have enemies? Like, we're the top of the food chain. Like, we shouldn't be enemies of one another. So I look at inhumanity as any way that's like groups of like cruelty and shame, racism, sexism, homophobia, like all these things where we kind of shame people and put them in these groups and we keep kind of separating them down to the minute. So I just wanted to define that.
Okay. You were gonna.
I was just thinking, and I'm going to mess this quote up and be honest with you. So I know it's a quote that says something about like, united we stand, maybe like separated we fall. If it's not separated, it should be separated. So I kind of think about, like, this is the first thing for me. So honestly, if we really came together and we really loved one another and we really embraced one another, like, what a great world this would be. So if we really came together, like all together, background, sex, whatever. I just feel like we would be able to make kindness normal, right? Like we would love one another. We just come natural. So that's what I think about.
You got anything, Ricky? I see you thinking, bro.
I keep, it takes me, like, reading this question takes me to the thought of selfishness versus selflessness. When you look at the ways in which we take someone's humanity, it's always for the gain of that person that's stripping it away. It's, I want to make you less of a human so that I seem more human, more bigger or a higher stature than you. And and you can really boil down a lot of the world's problems to that. To I'm vying for power. I'm vying for doing something for me, and making myself more profitable, as opposed to kindness, which is always a selflessness, where you're giving up something for someone else. And that is that, even when you go to the Bible, there's no greater love than a man lay down his life for a friend. Like I would give up something that is key to me and to my survival in order to give you a better chance at something, at survival, at achieving. Like that is what I feel like that's what separates us from the animals, not just, the kindness. I think that is, if an animal has a baby and that baby has some kind of deformity or something, animals leave it. Humans keep them. If you got an infant, think about how long a human has to be cared for before it can survive on its own. Like there's processes in people that are different, and it's all selflessness. Like it's not a thing that's giving to you to raise a kid. Like that takes from you for literally 20 some odd years to raise a child to an adulthood, and you give and give and give without getting anything physical in return. You get love in return, but not anything physical. That's selflessness. So I think that's what we really strive towards, is a world where we can look at a stranger and want to help.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I have to. I agree 100%. Basically, yeah. I think that's actually a deep way of looking at it too. That inhumanity is more animalistic. It's low vibrational, and we just kind of need to get that out in order to make way for a better future. And also, I kind of I was thinking of a quote when Martin Luther King said that all labor that uplifts humanity and dignity has an importance. It should be undertaken with painstaking excellence. So basically anything that's moving towards normalizing kindness and humanity, that should be not only just prioritized, but we should also be promoting that at all times. And that's just kind of where I felt with it. But pretty much in agreement with what you guys were saying.
No, most definitely. So as far as the why, I'm gonna take a different direction, but going to the same place. I think the why, as far as why we need to unite to eradicate, inhumanity and normalize kindness, is because I think us as a people, I think we stifle our progression and our innovation every time we basically stomp the spirit or the life force out of someone or a group of people. You think of all the groups of people in the world that exist on this planet, and almost every different, ethnic group has contributed something to society for advancement. And some of those groups have done so even with, the handicap of being oppressed. And so I think that the why is really just for us as a people, as a species. Like, I think about how much has been done thus far, but how much could be done if people were really free to be and to live without having to worry about someone really just infringing upon their life, their livelihood, their, just their everything. And I think that's the why we need to eradicate inhumanity on this kind, just because it's gonna, like everyone has been saying, it's gonna make the world a better place, make people better, but also it's going to really just push us forward in ways I think that are not able to be measured. And I think that's one of the, to me, that's one of the biggest questions that I ponder sometimes is if we didn't have some of the problems that we have, what kind of progression would we have made as humans? What would we be out here doing if, we didn't have these real extreme and even not extreme examples of people really just being at odds with one another and being inhumane towards one another? Where would we be? So to me, that's the why, and that's one of the. I mean, to me, it's a question it's a question within a question within a question. But that's where I went with it. So
I'll tell you guys, going off what you said, there's with United Front, there's 3 points of why we say the why, and one is like you said, we stifle growth. We stifle, growth. If you only have in the same group of people in the room, they're going to have the same ideas. So we don't innovate. We also harden hearts. We are human beings. We are built for kindness. So the more you kind of harden hearts, people like to think racism has a line. Whiteness is it's not a color, it's a power structure. So it's when the numbers start dwindling down, they expand it for more people to come in. So that's why you have, Cubans, they are considered white now, but some type of Hispanic groups, they open it up. They just not gonna open it up to black people. That just ain't gonna happen. Yeah. And the other thing is destroy the earth. If you deem you deem one area disposable, or one group of people disposable, and you let them, live in a toxic environment and all these other things, we have one earth. We live on one earth. Yeah. It's going to expand, and it's going to hurt all of us. Yeah. So it's no containing it.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree, man. And speaking about destroying the earth, man, you look at what happened during the quarantine when people had to be shut in, and we had to really people weren't going outside and stuff like that. Various parts of the earth pretty much reset itself.
Ozone, yeah.
Crazy. Animals oh man, we don't have people coming to trample on our actual natural environments, and the earth was we don't have these, like I said, these toxic footprints along. We can. The earth said, well, I can play outside my own backyard now. It was just, so yeah, no, I agree that we do with that, we do destroy the earth. And there's only one. You know what I mean? There's only one. We haven't found another one yet, that we know about.
We don't know.
So yeah.
So they just started to say there's aliens. They just started to agree with that. So.
Yeah.
So
yeah, man. So that was good. So you guys ready to move on to the next one? Oh, we don't have any. Not any new ones. Yeah, I usually get a little notification up there. So let me go ahead and get these. Okay. All right. So the next one is: life is not a solo act. It's a huge collaboration. And we all need to assemble around us, the people who care about us and support us in times of strife. Tim Gunn.
Yeah. So I like to just ride on the Greek phrase. Not the Greek phrase so much, but Philia Sukis, which means friendship is essential to the soul. Basically, we need each other. Humans are very they're very social beings, and that's why people can die of loneliness or heartbreak, things of that nature. It's a real thing because we are very social beings, so we need each other, and it's always important to me that we always lift as we climb. Helping each other as we better ourselves. And I know I've said that before, but I'm gonna hold on it because it's it's a big part of what I stand for in my life. But in all honesty, you need other people in order to be successful. A lot of people think that they can do everything. You know me, Batman. So at the same time, I learned to do everything because I thought that's what I needed to do, and I'm glad I did it because it built who I was in character. But in the end, I still saw that I needed more. I needed people. I needed a team to grow, and it's a beautiful thing when your network starts to grow, and when you're surrounded by people who actually believe what you believe in at the same time. So yeah, man, definitely. I would say that's a huge that's what I got from that quote, and I completely agree with it. It's not a solo act. Sometimes you gotta it's gonna be one pair of footprints in the sand, but usually you're getting carried. So that's why I stand with that.
The beard, what you got, man?
I need Tim Gunn to tell me what his definition of us is. Because this quote hinges on what you read into us. Because okay, the first part, easy. Life is not a solo act. Nope, nothing. None of us can live alone. We already stated that. That's a layup. But when he says we need to assemble around us, the people who care about us and support us in times of strife, like that's. Without qualifying what that us is, it could be us, people that think like us, people that do things the same way we do, and that's not the case. Like us has to be all, right? Because when you get into that echo chamber stuff, then you might as well be alone because it's just one person. It's like one mind thinking. It's a group mind instead of a collective, or because the thing about a collective or collaboration is that there are differences, and those differences make us stronger. So it really can go either way on this one, on what you perceive as us and how you use that last portion of the statement.
Wow. I did not even think,
That's why you got me on here. You see, this is what it is. Different thoughts.
Now the beard.
It's the beard, man. It's the beard. I need to grow it out. So give me some more wisdom.
The beard got super cerebral on that, and that's a great point because words mean things, and people. That's one of the things why these quotables people can take them in so many different ways because there's different interpretations of things. So I definitely agree, bro. I mean, what I took from this was, of course, like you said, life is not a solo act. Like you said, layup. That's the easy one. The huge collaboration. I also think that's a layup because we think about even people who say that they quote unquote don't like people, don't deal with people, all that, still run into hundreds, if not thousands of people throughout their lifetime, and they still need the assistance of other people to handle or accomplish certain things. So, and a lot of, a great many of us are blessed to have, be able to live up until old age. And so I think that, if you live long enough, you run into, I think 1,000 is keeping it light, but, I think most people run into at least 1,000 people throughout their lifetime, especially if they get into their 80s and 90s and, hundreds and all that stuff. But what spoke to me the most about this quote outside of the collaboration part is assemble around us the people who care about us and support us in times of strife. And I think about brother empowerment and the brothers that we talk to, and even the network that we've built and the things that we have, the transitions that we all have gone through, just these past 2 years during COVID and all the things that have come with that, just, relationships and all that stuff. And I think about how, when you have a network of people that are really for you, that really care about you, and especially it makes a big difference, especially when you're going through stuff. And when you try to do everything alone, especially go through hard times alone, I think it handicaps you. And I truly think that some people do think that they can do everything in life alone. I think that's where the term solo success comes from. And it's like, dude, you're not a soul success, because if someone imparted knowledge upon you and you use that to further your goals or to further your career, you've already been helped. Like, no one goes from the womb to the grave without some kind of assistance. And I think that, I think that's one of those phrases that should be done away with. It should go the way of the dinosaur. No soul success, because there isn't one. There's not one that I can think of. So yeah, that's right.
Well, yeah, I'm with y'all. The first two parts is like you said, a layup.
Mm-hmm.
But when I think about a symbol around us, the people who care about us, to me, that's like your village, right? Your people, your tribe, those people who pour into you and you pour into them. So I do feel like we do need that. I feel like, sometimes when we get older, we kind of get away from the village because we're adults now, we can handle life. But so many times do I go back to my village now. I think honestly that village concept is just as important as an adult as it was, when you were younger. I mean, you actually needed someone to actually take care of you. I think it just becomes that much more of a thing as you're older. You need wisdom, you need guidance, and sometimes you need a shoulder cry. But yeah, that's what I think about when I think about when we need to assemble around us the people who care about us and support us in times of strife. Because who else is going to encourage you and love you through it?
It almost sounds like Voltron, symbol around us, the people.
I'm gonna say it like that.
Yeah,
a symbol around us.
Yeah, it's like it makes me think of like that, and that just popped into my head. Voltron and like the Power Rangers, the Megazord or whatever it was called. Like that's what that makes me think of. Like almost when you say symbol around the people who care about the times of strife. It's like, yeah, I think of like a superhero like mantra. Symbol around us, people who care about us in times of strife. Like that, yeah. But yeah, anyways, that's my mind went there real quick. Like, I don't know why. It just did.
I think the us is a divider too. I do think it is important to assemble around people that care about you, but we also got to think about what we said before about division. Like if you're just being around the same people, that is a level of division.
Yeah,
you do start to develop some type of ideas about and create this group of other. But the other thing is the law of familiarity. Jesus couldn't heal people from where he was from. Having those people around you that are familiar with you, that know you, also kind of strikes your ability to collaborate and your ability to grow, because they're gonna be like, I know that dude, like I used to change his diapers, like it ain't no big deal, and and you start to get caught up in that. So in order to really have that huge collaboration, you got to go outside that group.
Yeah, no, I look at too, piggybacking what you're saying again, Ricky, the whole us. I think us could also be interpreted as your comfort zone. Yeah. So if you're always enveloped in your comfort zone, where does the growth take place? So you have to define the us, because if you're always in your comfort zone, you may not, like Al said, you may not deal with certain groups of people or even tackle certain things because you have put a divider down between all that other stuff and your comfort zone. Yeah. So that's something that I think we could talk about for 2 and 3 hours, because you break it down and just like we talked about before, like support. You have to define support. What does that mean? It's people who are just like who are there to let you as a sounding board, or someone who's there as a safe space, or someone who is like going to really just help you hold yourself accountable. Like what is support? What does it look like? What does that mean? So yeah, I think breaking all this down could take a while, and so I'm actually glad that the beard actually he went cerebral straight from the jump. It was like, what, that right there, I don't know about that. Yeah,
that last part was giving me insurrection vibes. Like I could just see somebody standing on the Capitol, like that's what that is around us.
Yeah,
here, like no, player, you died.
Yeah, I saw his face. I was like, man, he don't like this one too much. Oh man. So all right, Y'all ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
All right. So this one says responsibility is a requirement for excellence. Sydney Carroll. You guys got it?
I take it personally. So I definitely agree with this. And I feel like so often I think of Will Smith, before he got canceled. I still like Will Smith.
He didn't get canceled, man.
But he talked about he had like a motivational video or something, and he talked about like while somebody might hurt you or do something to you, like it's your responsibility to not hold on to it and heal from that. And I think so often, like in our culture, like we put the responsibility on somebody else, and we just get caught up in that cycle, and it stunts our growth. Because you're spending so much time blaming somebody, like this is why I can't get ahead. This is why I can't do this. My mama did this and my daddy did this. And you just get caught, and then you're not able to think outside of that, that circle and just really be able to get to that excellence.
Yeah.
So it's exactly what he was saying. My question was, does she mean responsibility or accountability?
I mean, that's what the quote was, so I don't know. I'm gonna just take it as what she said, which is responsibility.
We can take it at face value, but like I feel like accountability is also kind of what, and also, I mean. In order for you to be, it says responsibility is a requirement for excellence, right? So also, I would think the same thing is accountability. That it seems more, seems like it would be more fitting, only because people, just like he was saying, if they don't want to be accountable for what they're doing, or for what the decisions that they made in their life, they're gonna blame it on past trauma. They're gonna bring it on how they was raised. You got too many people in the world who are "that's how I am" people. I don't want the people around me. Growth is a choice. My man said he gonna crash it. He gonna crash the show. But
shoot, yeah. Hey Harper. A little princess.
Yeah, man. But basically, yeah, kind of just piggyback off what you're saying. Accountability, taking ownership of all of your own decisions, and being a responsible person, and kind of owning your the mistakes as loud as you own your achievements. I think that's great recipe for excellence, because at least when you are learning from your mistakes, it goes back even to the first quote, at least when you are learning from those mistakes, there's growth in there. But if you ain't learning nothing, you're gonna keep going in the same cycle. So yeah, responsibility and accountability is a requirement for you to be excellent.
So also, before anyone goes next, so I looked at the definition of responsibility. And the definition for responsibility is the state or fact of having a duty to deal with something or of having control over someone. Also, another definition, the state or fact of being accountable or to blame for something. So, responsibility, and I guess I'll take it next since responsibility talks about duty. And when we talk about excellence, and we talk about how, a lot of things, some of the things we talk about when it comes to brother empowerment, and also in Love's a Parable, is people accepting self. And when we talk about excellence, you have a duty to yourself. And so this is what that quote, when I read it, that's what that said to me. It's like responsibility is a requirement for excellence. You have a duty to yourself to be the best person that you can possibly be. And a responsibility is also accountability to yourself. And I think that's in that realm of things. But yeah, you definitely have a, you know, if you talk about excellence, you're going to be excellence, which is the, you know, if you talk about excellence, the top level of something, or you know, the top tier, as the slang term is, you know, like that comes through discipline, diligence, and that comes through having personal accountability. One of the things that our premarital counselor talks about is personal governance. Like, to me, all those things are encompassed within responsibility, especially when you're striving towards excellence. Because if you're having a hard time striving for excellence with self, it's going to be way harder to do that, accomplish that with an external thing. It might seem easier because a lot of times we find it easier to focus on other things than to focus on self. But it all begins with self. So, I mean, I took this quote, and again, this is one of those quotes where very few words, lots of interpretations. And I literally took this as, you have a duty to yourself to push for excellence and to hold yourself accountable. That's one of the ways, or a few ways that I broke down to me.
Okay. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna take it another way. I'm gonna do it again. Okay. Let's think about excellence. Let's think about the people throughout history who have changed the world, right? Mm-hmm. And then I look at responsibility, and I think ownership, and I think like owning your stance, and making this decision, making a choice, and standing behind it, even if people think that it's wrong. It's your decision. It's your thing. In order to be that person to change the world, you have to make a decision. You have to take a stand. You have to own that stand, and then others have to respect that stand. And then you're in excellence, and then you change the world. So yeah, you can't have that excellence without that responsibility of owning what you stand for.
Oh yeah, bro. I 1,000%, bro. I didn't even think about that. But again, that's, like you said, that's what you're here for.
Oh, no, you're true.
Nah, but most definitely.
Yeah, take off my stuff. I'm happy. I'm having with them. You think that's the word excellent?
Yep. Oh shoot, I spelled it wrong. So, and before you go out, so excellence is defined as the quality of being outstanding or extremely good. That's what it's defined as.
All right, but I think one of the things that just kind of made me think about when the beard was talking is that you think about like some of the people that in history that we call excellent. They had responsibility over some things, but not over like a lot of other things. Like you hear about like some of the bad things that they've done, but we still call them excellent, in the history books. And now we're starting to get back to that history and find out the truth. And it was like, it all this could be, very cultural. When we think about responsibility and when we think about excellence, like it depends on that culture of what they say it is.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah, culture has gotten redefined because culture is a societal, and different groups of people have different culture, and there's a mainstream culture, and then there's a culture within these groups, and so culture has gotten redefined rapidly, especially in the past, I'll say 20 years. That's one of the issues that we're having now here in this country, in America, as a society, is people keep trying to put, in my opinion, finite restraints on culture, and culture changes as society changes. The culture has been changing, like I said, rapidly, and some people either they're aggressive towards that change because it doesn't suit them, or they can't keep up with the change. You know what I mean? So
even if we use like somebody, for example, I think it was Benjamin Franklin. I think so. You know, and all that Benjamin Franklin talked about, you know, about humanity and kind of all these things, but he had enslaved people and he was taking their teeth, taking their teeth out of their mouth and putting them in his mouth. Like,
George Washington too.
So we talking about like responsibility and we talking about excellence. Like we in our culture, it's on a sliding scale.
Yeah. Jason, hey, what's up, Jason, man? Jason said, if you can't control yourself, you have no way to control your surroundings. But then again, it's not up to you. It's not up to you to control anything other than your actions. Be accountable for yourself and your actions. Everything else will fall where they may, but that's a good thing. Take care of what's most important to you, and hopefully what is most important to you is for the greater good. I love that last part. Like, you know, hopefully what's most important to you is important for the greater good. Like, I love that last part.
I think that's when we have to go outside at us. Because we get caught on that greater good and go and exterminate a whole group of people because we think that's for the greater good. So,
yeah, like Ricky said, that us sometimes can be divisive. You know,
what was it? What did they call it when they killed all the Native Americans
with the Trail of Tears?
Yeah, but they called it something that was
genocide.
But yeah, they had a fancy name for it.
It was like
God giving them the land.
What's one?
Manifest Destiny.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
They had a fancy name for it, like, and they dressed it up. Like sometimes it's all about how you dress it up.
Very much. I mean, honestly, if you think about it, politics is all
all how you dress it up.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely.
Manifest Destiny definitely sounds it's very misleading because it sounds almost noble, you know.
Yeah.
Where it was very the intention and the actions were very cruel.
Yeah, no, definitely. So there's been a lot of that in history, dressing it up.
Oh yeah, history's written by the victor. So
yeah, making it sound good, you know. All right, so we got time for one more. So end on this one. How has our negative conditioning about cooperative economics kept us from unifying to eradicate inhumanity and normalize kindness? The brother Al.
Okay. I'm gonna jump out.
Go ahead, jump out.
Here we go. Let me put on my brain cap. Let me put it on.
All right, okay. So I heard this kind of blurb, and I forget who it was that was talking about it, but they were kind of looking at rappers, right? And in the rap game, they got this thing where you want to be the greatest. You want to be the best. Like they can only be, it's like Highlander. They can only be one everybody trying to be that pinnacle top. And in that strive for the top, you're alone. You don't really cooperate. You don't really help people out. And in our walks of life, it's the same way. It's about how can I get to a certain level, economic level, at any cost. Capitalism is at the cost of people that are under us. That's what we live in. So it's not cooperative. It's me trying to get an edge to get ahead, not understanding that if we all take steps forward, then we all move quicker. You know, and it doesn't create this huge inequality. Like everybody goes crazy when you hear the word Marx, but that's what he was saying. He was saying, hey, if you are not working together, if you are diving into this capitalism, the middle is going to get slimmer and slimmer, and everybody's going to be on the poles. You're going to have a little bit of people at the top, and everybody else is going to be at the bottom, and that's not good for anyone. And that's where we at. We get to this inhumanity where these people at the top would do anything to be above the people that are below them. So that's when you got, Jeff Bezos making all this money on Amazon, but the people who get the products in the warehouses and put the shipping labels on them to ship them to everybody can't take more than a 5-minute break They got water bottles that they're taking around to urinate in because they don't have time to go to the bathroom. Like that's the definition of taking somebody's humanity.
Yeah.
When you're saying me making more money is worth more than you relieving yourself of going to the bathroom, taking care of your body. Like that's where we are as a people. And we gotta break free of that. We gotta start to show each other how we can grow. We gotta stop having people have all the secrets to economic growth, and then other people not having any of them, and not knowing how to navigate these arenas, not knowing how credit works, not knowing oh, I can get an LLC and get tax breaks. Oh, I can do that. I can pay myself. Like, people don't know how to do these things, and we got to educate people, and not just say, oh, well, I know this, so I'm gonna grow in comparison to you.
Man, we can just end the show after that. The beard just
right.
He just dropped the mic and went in space like Jay.
That's how you do. I can relate to that personally because I drove for Amazon for like 7 months, and I can tell you that they don't say don't take a break, but they say it's not recommended. Your break is in there, but you have to get your shift done by a certain time. And the amount of stops that you have does not correlate to stopping and taking a break. So most of the days, people say, oh man, you did so good losing weight and stuff. Man, it's because I won't eat most days. So I
have to eat.
And I was literally running around, jumping in and out of vans all day, like jumping in and out, literally all day. It's the most stress that you can put on your body at one time. And to a point that my doctor told me it was unhealthy to keep, even working there with my conditions. So yeah, absolutely, man. Yeah, you hit like the nail on the head, because you got like the richest person in the world, but what they pay you, and even the stipulations they put on the bonus pay that you're supposed to, that allegedly that they pay you during the holidays, it's not worth it. It's not worth breaking your entire body. It's barely a living wage, honestly.
Yeah. No, and before anybody goes next, Jason said, your negative conditioning is where you allow outside influences to be part of your total understanding of who you are and where we are. So ain't nobody going to tell me that I have to trust in the path of the past. I'm blazing futures. So I like that. Blazing.
I like that.
Yeah.
Right. You're gonna tell me, bro. I like that.
Who else you
got? So I'm kind of with Ricky, right? But I'm thinking, of course, number one thing, finance. Yeah. So I'm just thinking about like knowledge is, that's my blue chew. Knowledge is one of those things, like when you gain it, you can't take it with you. Like, and it doesn't hurt to share it. But for whatever reason, we have this thought process of, if I tell you something, right, then you might be able to get further than me. And I don't like that. Yep. And so that puts everyone behind, right? Working front, like in a bank before, like really realizing where things that were lacking in the community, how simple information could like really be truly not just like beneficial, but life-changing. But it's because we're always thinking you can't get ahead of me or you can't have more than me, that it divides us that much more. I'll say that. And that keeps people in poverty. That keeps people overdraft accounts. Like, it keeps people in debt. Because somebody doesn't want to say, hey, you know what? If you put up money into a savings account and put it in the form of like a CD, you can use that as collateral for overdraft, and you won't have to pay the bank. Instead of just giving that little bit of information, it's like, no, I can't tell you that because you can be doing it back then.
Yeah, definitely. When I think about this question, what Ricky said earlier, or the beard, said earlier about selfishness versus selflessness, that is what really the crux to me of this question is. Because when we think about cooperative economics, and we think about what we've been told and especially in this country, when we about capitalism, and I'm not gonna get into all that, but we on a surface level, you think about what we're told about the system that is capitalism, how it's the best, and if you can do this and then that. And there's quite a few people who are for self, and they're very individualistic. And even the people who have the most, some of the richest people in this country, who say work hard and you'll get where you want to be, or you can't let other people tell you what to do, or this and that. Those same people practice cooperative economics with their chosen few group of people, and they with their us, exactly. They practice group economics with their us, and they excel. But as far as what they tell everyone else, because they don't want other people. Sometimes they don't want other people to excel or to come up. Is they tell them something different. So they'll do the same thing, but they'll practice the group economics, but just not with y'all. You guys do something different. That doesn't work. But over here, behind closed doors, I'm going to do this because this is what has gotten me and us what we have now. And people like the beard was saying, Jeff Bezos, he practices group economics with other people in his peer group and in his tax bracket. They practice group economics. And so they're not going to give the information freely to the people that are running his company, making sure that it works on the day-to-day. No, he's not going to, that information is not going to be real available. And knowledge is one of the things that has kept us, I'll just say knowledge period, kept people from unifying and eradicating inhumanity and normalizing kindness. The lack of knowledge and miseducation and the dare I say, the bastardization of some types of knowledge has really kept us from doing that and practicing group economics. You think about the Black people as a community. We won't practice group economics with each other on a large scale, but we literally can see and quantify the benefits that it has with other groups of people. Whether you want to get really microscopic and granular and go to the Jewish community or go to, certain groups of other, Europeans or even in Asian countries. You can, or if you want to just say in America, you can see, because all those different groups are present in America. So you can go and literally see, and we can see it. We can literally see it. And we're just on large scale, we're just nah. And part of that is because the lack of knowledge and what we've been fed is poison. So yeah. But anyways, I went all over the place, but that bring it back.
I think what all you guys said, I think it has a lot of key points. One of the things that sticks out to me is identity. It's hard to collaborate or think about cooperative economics if we've been so negatively conditioned about our identity like that. We go into a relationship or we go into that we're supposed to be, collaborating, but we go into it in a point of lacking. Like this idea that I'm lacking something, so I need to use you so I can, get to this point. And even, even if we look at the most successful people, I don't feel like they even practice cooperative economics. I think it is, I think capitalism to them is usury. Like, I'm going to give my son this information so we can uplift our family, so we can keep this, family wealth going. I'm going to give, my friend this information so he's in proximity to me. He makes me look good, and I'm also going to get a percentage of what he's doing, and we're going to do business together. So the money always flows back to me. Even when they give money to, shelters and all these things, it's nothing that increases your social proof like giving $1 million. Like, people will go buy your brand, buy your clothes, you give away money because it looks good, but you also know it's a tax break. So it's a lot of things that, I want to say it's like a representative, like we're not seeing the real thing. And it's like we have to get past the negative conditioning of who we are. Like, that we're not lacking anything. Like, greatness is not something that we have to look for. It's already inside of us. Like, and then we just have to learn to walk in it. That way we go into these relationships. Like I say, I could give somebody all my manufacturers, my business plan, everything. That doesn't mean they're going to do it like me. Right. They have a different background. They have, a different culture, all these things. Like, I'm me, and they're them. So if they start a clothing brand, what they got to do with me?
Yep, exactly. You know, there's more than enough to go around.
Yeah.
Seriously.
We got gas stations, some intersections. They got gas stations on every corner.
Yeah.
All of them still make money.
Yeah. The gas stations aren't fighting each other. There's no non-competition agreements with the gas stations. Like you said, gas station. I'm putting one up over here. There's a gas station over there. Oh, okay. He's not my gas station.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not going to be the same feeling when you walk into my gas station as you walk into Al's gas station. You know, so yeah, but that was great. And so we are at that time, guys, to where it is Positive Brother shout out time. You all know what that is, where we shout out the brothers that, you know, well, one that you just want to shout out, but also brothers that don't get a lot of recognition just here in the everyday because of, you know, they may not be on people's radar or just for whatever reason. So we're going to go ahead and go with that so we can let y'all people go. She ladies first.
Okay, I knew you was going to do that. So, Positive Brother shout out. So I'm actually going to start out by shouting out my biological brother. He has worked at Honda. I don't know how long, but while he's there, he's always mentoring. He's always grabbing another brother. He's always bringing someone up, you know, encouraging, uplifting, and giving them a game. Hey, listen, you make a good paycheck, you buy your car, you go ahead and get that credit straight. So I appreciate my brother. Another brother, Seneca Rogers, is actually running for an election in Alamance Burlington school systems. He is a product of the school systems, and now he's trying to get back in and be that advocate for our teachers, for our students, and just make the school system so much better. So I'm definitely going to give a positive shout out to Mr. Seneca Rogers. If you are in Alamance Burlington school system area, go ahead and vote for him. Go ahead and be the change. He's part of the neighborhood. And then, of course, I want to shout out my honey, Cordell. He encourages and uplifts plenty of brothers. I think you have at least, 2.4 billion friends? At least, something like that. That's about how many people come to a wedding. But at least 2.4. But no, he's always encouraging, uplifting, a part of the community. Sometimes bring the community home.
Oh man, the shade.
It's real. I love you. And of course, I want to shout you guys out. Deuce, definitely shouting you out. Like just out here, just being you and putting yourself in your music. And I love that so much. Ricky, just being amazing. You know, I love the babies, my babies. Mama come see them sometime if I get permission. But and then out here just like doing it. Just met you today, but learned a lot about you, and I can see what you're doing in the community, and I love it. So, all right, that's my positive brother shout out.
Thank you.
Shoot, Deuce, what you got, man? Mute.
Always, every single time. As always, man, I'm gonna shout out to my Four Phones family. I'm gonna shout out to South Rome, Sitch. It's SITCH.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and shout out DJ R&B, DJ Delmatic for their nominations, man. Congratulations, guys. They got nominated too. Again, shout out to Juice Lord. Shout out to everybody, man, who's been like really supportive. Shout out to Crown Chaz, man. Cool dude. I owe him a shot. He bought me a shot like one day. I was playing. I was like, he was saying he was about to buy shots. I was playing and he actually went and got him and came back. I was like, oh man, you know what I'm saying? He's cool. We never had a conversation. I worked with one of his teammates before, but he's a cool dude. So shout out to him and congrats on the nomination, Crown Chaz. Go check out the music. And also, man, just shout out as always, man. And Jay, man, for having me on this platform. I appreciate it. It's great. So I really appreciate that. Me and Jay, we just have like a connection. That's my guy. And I hope to see you back here soon, man. But yeah, man, that's where I'm gonna leave it.
Word. That's what's up, man. That's dope. The beard, next, bro.
Hey, well, I guess I can go ahead and shout myself out for being an amazing dad. So that's to get that out the way. Shout out to the homie Jay. former host of Brother Empowerment. He's doing Finding Patience right now. Y'all go ahead and get the tickets. I've been looking them up. Y'all go ahead and get that. Shout out to Cordell for being an amazing target for my pettiness. Without him, a whole lot of people will be dead in these streets. He catch a lot of my bullets. And I thank him for that. He do a lot in private, y'all, that y'all don't even see. He a champ. Also, shout out to Deuce. I've been bumping that Fandemic, man. Y'all go download it on all streaming networks. Y'all go get that thing. I got it on Apple Music. He probably get more money off Apple Music if you get it there. You heard that from me. Am I right?
Tidal has the most, but nobody has Tidal. So
okay.
Well, yeah, Apple Music is great. It's great, and I did see it spiking the numbers, so I appreciate you.
That was all me. You're welcome.
No, that was all us, sir. That was us.
Shout out to Al. Hey, listen, I'm doing a Cordell shout out. I get 65 minutes right now. Shout out to Al for having the most quotes in a Brother Empowerment episode. And I'm out.
You get a free ticket back next time. No, go ahead, bro. What you got, man?
Definitely shout out to you and Jay, man, for having me on, and shout out to you, brothers. I got the opportunity to meet you guys and hang out, and I appreciate it. Shout out to Mo for the space. We got to be in this like we on a morning show.
Mm-hmm.
Now we have a morning show next.
Now we nightlife.
Yeah. And shout out to FazelCon and Gear Web. They are activists and doing some of the work right now, especially with everything that's happening in Texas. And it's a rough job, man. And somebody got to do it.
Yeah, definitely. Yes, I'm last, but certainly not least. I definitely want to shout out all you brothers that came on. Deuce, the Beard, Al. Because this show, if I was up here by myself, it would be high, so I can hold it down, you know what I'm saying? But, this is what we need, and this is what people want to see. So I shout your brothers out, man, because all of y'all are inspirations for me, because all of y'all walk in your expertise. All of y'all walk in excellence in your strengths in life. You know what I'm saying? Deuce is the Batman of this rap thing. You know what I'm saying? Al has, he's has the fashion, and he has he's visionary. You know what I'm saying? The Beard is, fantastic fermentations, super dad and beard connoisseur, and petty master of the East Coast, you know what I'm saying? So
arguably of the world.
Yeah, but all of y'all walk in your expertise, and you don't infringe upon anyone else's lanes because you're too busy doing what you do well. So I want to shout y'all out, man, just because that is an inspiration for me in so many ways. Definitely shout out Maurice, man, because one, I got to meet him in person for the first time. He's been on the show a few times. I got to meet him in person for the first time. He's another brother who walks in his expertise and does what he does well. And he's not worried about anybody else or what's going on or whatever. He's, hey, I got this to do. I'm a father. I am an entrepreneur, a very successful one. This is what I'm doing. All the other stuff, I can, that's cool. I'm doing this. Definitely shout out to Jay. He is, like the Beard said, he's doing Finding Patience. He is showing the world his talents and walking in the main things that he does well. And he was one of the first people, probably the first person to ever tell me that, that, hey man, if you focus on you and your gifts, and everything else will fall in line. And so, I'll always shout him out because he helped me find my footing in helping the community. I always wanted to help the community, but I didn't know what I was going to do. And then lo and behold, I met him. Love's a Parable shoot happened, and the rest has just been one historic step after the other. So I definitely want to shout him out. Shout out to all the brothers that were on with us tonight. Also want to shout out all the fathers that really, man, just do what they do, and they don't care about accolades, man. They're like, hey, I helped bring these children into the world, so I'm going to make sure they are productive people, but also they have their own identity and they make a positive impact on the world that's unique to them, you know, because all of you brothers are in places that are in a place that I want to be in, you know, in a couple years, you know, like that's gonna be me. that's gonna be me. And but yeah, last but not least, I want to shout out all the brothers who are you know, who just make time to be brothers. What's up, Jude, man? I want to shout out all the brothers that make time to be brothers, man, because if no one made time to actually be a brother, we'd have way more brothers out here who were wounded and felt like they weren't loved or cared about. So the brothers that do that, it's a taxing job. It's thankless sometimes, but it is selfless and it is needed. So I want to shout y'all out. So that's it. You know, even though that was a long brush it out, Ricky still took longer than I did. So I'm not.
Notice I didn't say a word about it.
I was waiting, bro.
I let it go. I let it slide. I stopped my shout out early. I had one more shout out to give, and I let it go.
Go ahead and give it, bro. Go ahead and give it, man.
Okay, I just want to give auxiliary shout out to all the men who share their food with their women, because that is the most selfless act of love that you can do. To give somebody a bite of your lemon pepper wings, like that's love.
So is that off of that? Is that when y'all order the same thing, or is that when you order something different, or it just doesn't matter?
It's different.
You know what? When you do it and it's a different thing, that's kind of understood. But when they order the same thing, but they want to taste yours, that's like a love extreme.
That's top tier.
Love extreme. That's love extreme.
Okay.
Well, you order something different and they eat all your food.
I'm not gonna talk about us like I
Word. Well, all right, y'all. So, all right. Well, this has been a great episode of Brother Empowerment. If y'all do not know anyone who cares about you or who says they love you and they mean it, you just met 5 people who do. And so we'll see y'all next week. We definitely thank y'all for tuning in with us. And, you know, everybody else, y'all stay on. But to everyone else, we'll see y'all later. See y'all next week.
Peace.
6 because of Jude.
Well, 7. Jude and Hart.
7 because of Hart.
She made like a special feature.
All right, y'all. See y'all next week.
A brother is someone that you can trust. A brother can sometimes be just a warming embrace, someone that you can depend on, and someone that has loyalty and that you show loyalty to.